This is where one of the largest terminal stations meets a tiny underground network. Even so, I can cross the city just as fast as I can escape to the countryside, from splashing around together at the lake to fitness influencers in the park. Here, everyone will find a quiet spot where they can leave their mark. Just like Johan here did before them.
Where people let their audience feel the music and create moments that will live forever. Well, at least until coffee the next morning. Where excellent food is much more a matter of taste and not the size of your wallet. Where the evening's entertainment can be as classically cultivated as it is booming and bass heavy. Or where we do our own thing, with a cigarette and beer. Simply a place...
Wo Liebe nicht in Schubladen gesteckt wird.
A place that's home to people who stand together for their convictions. Where the visual arts and the performing arts become cultural events.
Where people are motivated to be at the top of their game.
And where an explosive mixture of tradition and ambition has a home. Where we are already looking to tomorrow, today. Where we get stuck in together. Work on new ideas. Simply savor life. And only ever build the highest quality.
And of course, put it through its paces.
Ein Ort, an dem ich alles schnell
Und gut erreiche.
No matter how. And between you and me, where I can just put my feet up and really relax.
In Leipzig, we celebrate our originals, see diversity as a guarantee of quality, love the landmarks that are part of our home,
and pursue our ambitious goals. Each and every one of us. Every day.
Gar nicht übel, oder? Also warum Leipzig? Weil es einfach immer passt?
Good afternoon and welcome to the Discover Leipzig presentation. As always, we have a great prize on offer for a lucky winner. This time, 2 nights in a 4-star hotel in Leipzig city centre, individual Leipzig city tour in English, Leipzig Regio Cards for free public transportation and reduced entrance fees, 2 free admissions to Leipzig Zoo, and 2 free admissions to Colditz Castle or Hartenfels Castle in Torgau. We will ask a question at the end of the presentation, so listen carefully. The answer will be given during the presentation. Now, with its diverse architecture, vivid street art, and rich musical history, the city has culture in spades. To tell us more of what Leipzig has to offer, I'd like to welcome Dana Marshner, International PR and Sales Manager. Hello, Dana. Thanks for joining me today.
Hello, Charles, and everyone listening. It's a pleasure to be here.
Dana, I guess we should start by telling you us where it is in Germany and how we can get to Leipzig.
Yes, definitely. Leipzig and its region is a must-see when traveling to Germany. Even the Lonely Planet Guide recommended the city as #1 German travel destination. And I want to show you why. But back to your question, Charles. Where is Leipzig? Leipzig is in the heart of Europe. It's located about 2 hours south of Berlin and 1 hour west of Dresden. Leipzig is at the crossroad of the historical trading routes Via Regia and Via Imperii running through Europe. And that is how Leipzig became a trade fair city. Today, it's more convenient. There are direct flights from London Stansted to Leipzig 3 times a week. They are operated by Ryanair and also fly directly from Dublin to Leipzig twice a week. From the airport Leipzig-Halle in the north, it's just a 50-minute ride by the S-Bahn to the main train station. So if you have more time, the most convenient way to travel to Leipzig is by train. Every hour, there are ICE lines to major German cities, and you will arrive at the largest terminus station in Europe and also one of the most beautiful ones. It's right downtown and only a 5-minute walk to the central market square. Most hotels are close by too. Leipzig in general is a city of short distances and has a good public transportation system.
So it's definitely easy to reach and to travel about. So now that we're there, what can we get up to? What can we do, Dana? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm happy to show you what you can do in Leipzig. Let's start with Leipzig's great musical heritage. The city was home and workplace to many famous musicians like Bach, Mendelssohn, Wagner, Clara and Robert Schumann, and many more. Today, you can visit their authentic places on the Leipzig Music Trail that combines all 22 places in walking distance. You can also listen to various sound walks that are available at the Leipziger Notenspuren app. It can be downloaded for free in the App Store. In Leipzig, music is everywhere. For example, you can listen to concerts of the famous Thomaner Choir, the St. Thomas Boys Choir, with a musical tradition of over 800 years, and this at the same church where Bach performed his cantatas and where you can visit his grave. So, Johann Sebastian Bach might be the best known of Leipzig musicians, and his very own museum is just opposite of St. Thomas Church. 300 years ago, Bach came to Leipzig, and he stayed until he died. As a Thomas cantor, he was director of music for all 4 churches in Leipzig and also responsible of the Thomaner Choir. Especially in his first years in Leipzig, he was very productive. In total, he produced over 100 cantatas in Leipzig. At the Bach 300 website, you will see planned special anniversary concert until next year. For example, on Good Friday 2024, the 300 years anniversary of the first performance of Bach's St. John Passion in St. Nicholas Church will be celebrated.
So Dana, some great composers there. You also mentioned Wagner as well as Clara and Robert Schumann. What was their influence in Leipzig?
Well, they had a big influence in Leipzig. The next famous musician with his own museum in Leipzig is Richard Wagner. And he was also born in Leipzig, but later left his hometown. So if you want to know more about the young Wagner and his time in Leipzig, you should visit the permanent exhibition in the old Nikolai School. In 1512, it opened as the first citizen school, Wagner and Leibniz being its most famous students. The Oper Leipzig sees it as his task to keep Wagner's musical legacy alive. So every 10 years, the opera hosts the Wagner Festival. And just last year, there was a world premiere that all of Wagner's 13 operas were performed in chronological order within 3 weeks by one orchestra. Another great musician that was born in Leipzig is Clara Schumann. Already at a very young age, she was a celebrated pianist and also active as a composer. When she was only 11 years old, she had her first solo concert at the Gewandhaus Concert Hall, playing her own works and a composition by her father. And actually, that is how she met her later husband, Robert Schumann, that took piano lessons with Clara's father, Friedrich Wieck. So the Schumann house is the former home of Clara and Robert, where they spent their first 4 years of marriage. And now it is a museum portraying the special challenges of an artist couple at that time. By the way, tours and private concerts can be booked for groups at all music museums in Leipzig. Last but not least, I want to present you Felix Mendelssohn Bartholdy and the Mendelssohn House. It's the only remaining authentic private residence and the place where he died. Mendelssohn was one of the most gifted and multi-talented musicians of the 19th century. As a musical director of the Gewandhaus Orchestra and co-founder of the first German conservatory, he had a decisive influence on the charisma of Leipzig. He was responsible for the so-called Renaissance of Bach and invented the position of chief conductor. So no wonder that the Mendelssohn House has a special room where you can experience that it is like to conduct an orchestra.
That's amazing. The Mendelssohn House has a special room where you can experience what it's like to conduct an orchestra. That's something I would really love to try out. I think it'd be a great experience. Now, I also know that Leipzig has some world-class music institutions as well as unique music festivals, Dana?
And located on the Augustusplatz, two world-class music institutions are right across from each other. Both have very old traditions, but have a fairly modern home, as the old buildings were destroyed during the air raids in the Second World War. The Oper Leipzig, in the upper picture, is the third oldest music stage in Europe. And the Gewandhaus Orchestra was founded in 1747, though this September they will already perform its 243rd concert season. It's unbelievable. The Gewandhaus Concert Hall you see in the lower picture is already the third one and was completed in 1981. And besides the great acoustics there, the large ceiling painting in the foyer is very impressive, and it can be seen from the outside even. The Leipzig vivid musical tradition can best be experienced by going to a concert at the unique classic music festivals that take place regularly. Every year in September, there's a chamber music festival. In October, a jazz festival. In November, the Mendelssohn Festival. In June, it's time for the yearly Bachfest. And in 2024, the Oper Leipzig will host the Ballet Festival, Leipzig Dances. And in 2025, the Gewandhaus will present a Shostakovich Festival, to name just the biggest ones. But after so much talking, I have a video for you that perfectly shows how the musicians influenced Leipzig and how Leipzig influenced the world of music. Enjoy.
Mendelssohn and Leipzig, this is like a love affair, you can say. Felix Mendelssohn Bartholdy lived in this apartment in Mendelssohn House for 2 years. The last 2 years of his life, and he died in this apartment. But he was in Leipzig for 12 years. He was a young man. He was full of energy, full of inspiration, creativity. At that time, he was one of the most famous musicians or conductor in Europe. Here in Leipzig, he found what he needed to work and to develop his genius, let's say. These 12 years here in Leipzig, being Gewandhauskapellmeister with the Gewandhaus Orchestra and the boys' choir, were one of the most important years for the world of music. He invented, more or less, the position of the chief conductor as we know it today. A person, a human being, not playing an instrument, standing in front of the orchestra that didn't exist before. He founded during these days the first conservatory in Leipzig, the first conservatory in the German-speaking Europe. He rediscovered the big works of Bach.
I guess that Felix Mendelssohn Bartholdy was the most important Bach influencer in the 19th century. It was he who in 1829 organized and conducted the first performance of St. Matthew Passion after Bach's death. He and his friends like Robert Schumann and all those people who founded in 1850 the so-called Bach Society, they were very important for the rediscovery of J.S. Bach's music.
To be in Leipzig means we always have in summertime, just in June, the so-called Bach Festival, and then the end of October is the so-called Mendelssohn Festival. It's a wonderful relationship between the Mendelssohn House, the Mendelssohn Foundation and Gewandhaus. And this is, let's say, a very important time, just a one-week festival where we were presenting a part of Mendelssohn's unbelievable oeuvre.
Okay, great video and lots of information there. Now we've heard about the music. How about art and museums? What's on offer there, Dana?
Yeah, of course, Leipzig is not only interesting for music lovers, but also has to offer a lot for art fans. One of my favorite is the Grassi Museum Complex, housing 3 in 1. The Grassi Museum of Applied Art is leading in terms of design. And besides changing exhibition, the museum hosts a Grassi Messe every year in October, which is an international design meeting place, an art exhibition and sales fair in one. In 2023, the Museum of Ethnology celebrates its 150 years anniversary. The museum owes its foundation to Leipzig citizens like busy merchants who traveled the world on business. And the Museum of Musical Instruments shows the oldest pianoforte in the world preserved in its original condition. And just around the corner from the Market Square and next door to the Leipzig Tourism Office is the Museum of Fine Arts. With over 10,000 square meters of exhibition space, it's one of the largest exhibition houses in Germany. The modern glass cube creates a special atmosphere inside the building. And the art collection of the Museum of Fine Arts houses over 4,600 paintings and more than 1,800 sculptures, including the great Beethoven sculpture by the Leipzig sculptor and painter Max Klinger. There are also 3 paintings of Caspar David Friedrich. He was the most important artist in the German early Romantic period. He spent a large part of his life in Dresden, though there's a special exhibition next year for the 250-year anniversary of his birthday. So a combined trip to Dresden and Leipzig might be a good idea. In the Museum of Fine Arts, art from local artists has an important focus in the collection too, including the works from Neo Rauch. More contemporary art of Leipzig can be seen at the G2 Kunsthalle. That is a private collection, but open for the public. Maybe you've heard of the term Leipzig School of Painting before. It's related to the Academy of Fine Arts Leipzig, the HGB, that in 1961 established a special painting class. And afterwards, numerous successful artists emerged from the art school in a short sequence. The unmistakable visual language made Leipzig a center of visual art that was respected in the GDR. And the expression New Leipzig School refers to their students in the 3rd generation and their situation after the political turnaround in 1981. So Neo Rauch is one of the most important representatives and closely linked to the Spinnerei art site too. The western part of Leipzig is known for its very creative and innovative vibes. The Spinnerei is a unique hotspot for art in Leipzig. It used to be the largest cotton mill production of continental Europe and ceased production in 1992. 2 years later, the first art studios moved in and a few galleries opened. And Neo Rauch was one of the first art pioneers and still has a secret studio there as well, and the gallery selling his paintings. Now there are 14 galleries and more than 100 art studios at the Spinnerei. And right next to it, another architectural highlight awaits for you. You can see the Oscar Niemeyer Fair in the lower left picture, which is the last completed project of the Brazilian architect. And just a 10-minute walk from the Spinnerei, you can experience immersive art projects and multimedia installations at the Kunstkraftwerk. The former power plant features changing topics, own digital productions, and the yearly Pride Festival. Each exhibition offers a unique combination of art and technology for visitors of all age. And the Panometer is another unique museum I want to mention to you. This year, it celebrates its 20 years anniversary, and the former gas storage facility showcases the world's largest 360-degree panoramas of the artist Yadigar Assisi. Every panorama is 32 meters high and has a surface of 3,500 square meters. It stays for about 1.5 years before the next topic is presented. My favorite ones were Carola's Garden and the Rainforest of Amazonas. The panoramas are a mixture of photography, painting, graphic design, and also printing technology. And actually, some very old printing machines that are still operating can be visited in the Museum of Printing Arts in Leipzig. But you will get some more impressions in the next video. Enjoy!
Wow, that looks exciting. I could do with that pint of beer that I've just seen as well. So we've got music, museums, art and culture. However, Dana, it is true to say that Leipzig is also a young, urban and dynamic city.
Yes, that's right. Leipzig is a very young and lively city. It's very diverse and a city of change. Leipzig has today 625,000 inhabitants, and it's one of the fastest growing cities in Germany. There are many bars, pubs, and cafes. The rooftop terraces and beer gardens are popular for outdoor dining, whatever the season. There are also numerous event venues, underground clubs, and cultural centers like the Moritzbastei, Europe's largest student club within the old city's old. It's also the largest student club within the old city walls. Or the lower picture shows the Teubchental that combines industrial history with a modern and technically fully equipped concert location. But Leipzig is not only a young city because there are many families living here, it is also has many students. The University of Leipzig was founded in 1409, and it is the second oldest university operating without interruption in Germany. Next to Goethe and many other students, although former Bundeskanzlerin Angela Merkel studied physics in Leipzig. I already mentioned the University of Fine Arts. Another special one is the HHL Leipzig Graduate School of Management. It tops the list of German startup universities because of optimal entrepreneurial support. And not to forget the University of Music and Theatre, named after his founder Felix Mendelssohn Bartholdy, and being the oldest university of music in Germany. So Leipzig is a very suitable destination for youth travel and school trips. Leipzig is a city of short distances and has a great mix of authentic historic places, art and leisure activities. And you have a wide range of active adventures like whitewater rafting or visiting the Belantes amusement park. And of course, Leipzig is also perfect to visit as a family. A big highlight for young and old is the Zoo Leipzig, that was awarded Best Zoo in Germany. Very popular is the Gondwana Land, where you can have a boat tour through the tropical rainforest or walk on a treetop trail. If the kids are a little bit older, you should definitely visit the Porsche Experience Center. You can have a guided factory tour, visit the Porsche Car Museum, and enjoy on and off-road driving events. The next video gives you some more ideas how to spend your family trip in Leipzig. Have a look, you might spot me in the film too.
Great video, Dana. I can't say that I spotted you there. Maybe you can tell me later where you were. But certainly, yeah, there's something there for everyone, for young, for individual, for families. That's absolutely correct. So, one thing we should also discuss is that Leipzig has a historical significance, both in the distant past and closer to the present day.
Yes, you're right, Charles. Leipzig is rich on historic significance. Actually, one of the most striking landmarks in Leipzig is the monument of the Battle of the Nations, or the Völki, how we locals call it. In October 1813, about 20 nations were involved in the Battle of the Nations against Napoleon. And 100 years later, the tallest monument of Europe was built and now gives visitors a spectacular view from the viewing platform. You can climb the 500 steps by yourself or take the elevator to go up. But Leipzig also played an important role in recent history. It's where the peaceful revolution of East Germany started. On 9 October 1989, the decisive Monday demonstration with more than 70,000 people took place in Leipzig, and a month later, the Berlin Wall came down. A small piece of this wall stands right in front of the former GDR Secret Service headquarters in Leipzig. That is a very impressive museum now. So every 9 October, Leipzig commemorates the happenings with a festival of lights. European artists are invited and present light installations that interpret the historical events and the values of democracy. Though this year, the Scottish artist Craig Morrison will participate with its project, A Beacon of Hope for the World. And in 2024, there will be a larger festival of lights with 15 light projects along the inner city ring that was the historical route of the Monday demonstrations. But also the surrounding Leipzig region has a lot to offer. You can visit iconic castles and beautiful churches in smaller towns nearby. All the castles, they have museums telling the historic insights, and many of them have interactive exhibitions now. For example, a virtual reality guide at the Rochlitz Castle. Saxony is also considered one of the most important German organ landscapes. A total of 2,500 organs still exist here today. So in the Leipzig region, you find many churches with famous organ building art from builders like Silbermann, Hildebrandt, or Ladegast. And here are two special castles I want to show you. The first is the Hartenfels Castle in Torgau, an hour northeast of Leipzig. It is the only preserved palace of the German early Renaissance, and the Great Wendelstein is a 28-meter high stair tower that has a unique construction and is considered an architectural masterpiece of the time. Hartenfels Castle is also connected to many important historical personalities, like Martin Luther. The chapel of Hartenfels Castle was considered the first Protestant church, and Luther himself consecrated the place of worship, and Torgau became the political center of the Reformation. And the second castle you probably already have heard of. It is the Colditz Castle, located in the southeast of Leipzig, also an hour away. The Colditz Castle is a Renaissance castle on a porphyry rock above the town of Colditz. During Second World War, it served as a war prison for the high-ranking officers of the Western Allies. And the Escape Museum tells of all the legendary attempts to escape from the prison. The exhibition also shows some of the escape aids that the prisoners invented. And next year, in April 2024, you can discover even more insights with a new Histopad. It will be an interactive tablet guiding you through the lost places of Colditz Castle.
Yes, indeed, you're totally correct there, Dana. The Colditz Castle TV series, I think, is something that most people in the UK will remember. It was it was really an interesting series. So moving on, a major consideration in travel today is, of course, sustainability. Can you tell me or tell the viewers indeed, what Leipzig is doing in that area?
Well, actually, before I continue with my slides, I have a video for you. It's about a young woman that invites his parents to explore Leipzig in an eco-friendly way. The language is in German, but there are English subtitles, so you will understand.
Hi Papa, also wegen eurem Besuch am Wochenende. Ich habe mir da was überlegt, wie wir Leipzig möglichst umweltfreundlich erkunden können. Nachdem ihr am Hauptbahnhof angekommen seid, schlendern wir zuerst ein bisschen durch die Innenstadt. Dort zeige ich Mama und dir einige Highlights der Stadt. Ein schöner Mix aus alt und neu. Hier gibt's wirklich an jeder Ecke was zu entdecken. Im Anschluss gehen wir dann Mittagessen. Es wartet richtig leckere regionale Küche auf euch. Danach machen wir dann einen Abstecher in den Auwald und keine Sorge, Leipzig ist nicht umsonst die Stadt der kurzen Wege. Wir erreichen alles entspannt zu Fuß oder mit dem Rad. Wusstest du eigentlich, dass Leipzig zu den grünsten Städten Deutschlands zählt? Ein Drittel der Stadt besteht aus Parks, Wäldern und anderen Grünflächen. Später fahren wir mit der Tram Richtung Westen, wo wir uns bei einem Kaffee am Kanal entspannen können. Gleich in der Nähe gibt es außerdem viele kleine besondere Läden, die regionale und nachhaltig produzierte Produkte anbieten. Also vergesst eure Einkaufsbeutel nicht. Zum Schluss geht es dann auf die Sachsenbrücke, wo wir den Tag ausklingen lassen. Das gehört bei einem Besuch in Leipzig einfach dazu. Ich freue mich auf euch.
As you've seen in the video, even not located at the sea, Leipzig is a city of water and active recreation. There are many small rivers and canals flowing through Leipzig, and with 457 bridges, we actually have more bridges than Venice. You will find many green spaces, parks, and the city is surrounded by 20 lakes that invite locals and tourists alike to swim. The well-developed network of hiking paths and low-gradient cycling routes, because we can offer many things in Leipzig, but we have no mountains. But most of the cycling routes, they start right in the city parks and make it easy to explore Leipzig eco-friendly. 1/3 of the city is covered in a green belt. It's a so-called Auenwald floodplain forest that runs through all the city. Leipzig aims to be climate neutral in 2030. So the city administration, but also important companies and institutions do their share for this goal. In December 2023, the Opera of Leipzig, for example, is presenting the first climate-neutral opera production of Mary, Queen of Scots, representing a major step towards sustainable culture. And another important company of Leipzig, the Leipziger Messe, is a pioneer when it comes to green meetings. It is certified with a Green Globe certificate for 12 years in a row now. Leipzig has always been a trade fair city with a tradition of more than 850 years. And today, Leipzig is a vibrant congress city, offering everything the MICE sector is looking for. There's conference space and new unique venues for up to 10,000 people. There's a wide range of high-quality hotels with meeting and convention rooms for up to 1,000 people. And a network of 50 partners present a central platform for business trips. Have a look at doitatleipzig.de. And here comes my personal favorite video of Leipzig. Enjoy it.
Nee. Wo könnten wir denn hingehen?
Die Antwort ist Leipzig.
We Leipzigers do elegant or punk, conservative or innovative. We do fancy, we do affordable, we do exciting, we do sleepy. We throw parties big and small, whether inside or outdoors. We put our backs into it, but we care about the finish. The perfect blend? The answer is Leipzig. We do theory, but we get stuck in. Create great things, create facts. Like to be active, but also relaxed. And as for cuisine, there's something for everyone. We're big on local diversity. We know the region. We're known worldwide. We see the bigger picture, but we're fussy about details. Whatever you're looking for, the answer is Leipzig. Sometimes we step on the gas. Sometimes we slow down. We like things analog, but aren't afraid of change. We can do quiet, we can do loud. Plus we're musical, and we're proud. We'll find a solution. It might be good, might cause a storm. We celebrate differences, but always together. If you haven't been here, though, you may not know it. The answer is simple. The answer is Leipzig.
Well, that's fantastic. As we've seen now, Leipzig is the answer. It's a great destination for conferences. And then, of course, sustainability is a really high priority in the region. That's absolutely fantastic. Well, I guess I couldn't talk about Leipzig and not mention my favorite sport, football. Everybody knows that. The Euro 2024 championships are being hosted in various cities around Germany. And of course, one of those cities will be Leipzig. What can you tell us about what's going to be happening, Dana?
Yes, you're right. Leipzig will be a host city next year, and we're already excited. Leipzig will play an important role as the international broadcasting center for all media for the Euro 2024 championships will be based at the Leipziger Messe Fairgrounds. But Leipzig also has to offer some football history for you. As a German football association, the DFB was founded in Leipzig in 1900. And 3 years later, the football club VfB Leipzig won the first German championship. For the Euro 2024, there will be 4 matches in Leipzig that take place in the Leipzig football stadium with a capacity of 40,000 people. The upper picture shows how the stadium was rebuilt in the shell of the old Zentralstadion. The RB Arena can be visited by guided stadium tours, or you can watch Bundesliga games there too. And here is the official video for the Euro 2024 Leipzig host city.
I'm already excited, Dana. I'm certainly going to be there for the football. But even if you're not a football fan, there's plenty of reasons to visit Leipzig, as we've already seen. So I guess after all this activity, we may get hungry. How about we talk about the culinary side of what's on offer in Leipzig?
Yes, let me introduce you to some culinary specialties of Leipzig. If you like coffee, sweets, or beer, Leipzig is a place to go. Leipzig has a great coffee house tradition, and we have Germany's oldest coffee house, which is currently being renovated and will reopen in spring 2024. But don't worry, there are enough other places to have coffee and cake and try the Leipzig lark. In the 19th century, thousands of lark songbirds ended up in the kitchen, until animal lovers put an end to this cruel tradition and a new one was invented by confectioners. It's a yummy shortgrass tart filled with marzipan and branded Leipziger Lerche. Being in Leipzig, you should also try the Gose beer specialty. It does not comply with the German purity law because the recipe is much older than the law and it says to add salt and coriander. But that's what gives the Gose its fresh and unique taste. In Leipzig, culinary and admirable architecture are a good fit. Thanks to the city's long history of trade fairs, there are more than 30 passages and courtyards that form a unique system of arcades in the city center. And there's shops, local stores, bars, and restaurants. You probably have heard already of Auerbach's cellar in the Medler Passage. Auerbach's cellar used to be Goethe's favorite wine cellar, and that's where he was inspired to write his Faust novel. And in 2025, we celebrate the 500-year anniversary of Auerbach's cellar. In Leipzig, we're proud of our regional products too. There are many small or larger manufacturers producing drinks and liquors, art and crafts, and no surprise, also music instruments. The world-famous Julius Blüthner pianoforte factory celebrates its 170 years anniversary this November. And you may know that there's a Blüthner pianoforte store in London, Baker Street, selling unique design instruments. For more local products, have a look at our Leipzig.travel website. And of course, last but not least, at Christmas time, don't miss the Leipzig Christmas market with lots of delicious food and yummy sweets. The large Leipzig Christmas market spreads through the whole inner city and dates back to 1458. All the passages are neatly decorated as well, and it's fun to stroll around, drink Glühwein, eat Kräppelchen, waffles with vanilla cream, and buy craft specialties from Saxony. And if you're a fan of Christmas markets, you should mark the opening date of November 28th in your calendar already.
Yes, thank you, Dana. It's definitely a popular reason to go to Germany is the wonderful Christmas markets. And Leipzig is definitely up there. As far as the culinary is concerned, I guess the larks are a lot happier now too, now that they're not being eaten. So anyway, lots of reasons, but definitely Christmas markets worth a visit. Do you have anything to add to that, Dana?
No, I think I showed you many things already. And of course, afterwards, I can always answer some questions directly.
Sure, absolutely. So anyway, there we have it. A multitude of reasons to visit the wonderful city of Leipzig and the surrounding region. Music, art and culture, history, castles, culinary delights, and of course football. It's all there for us. Now, I think it's time for the prize draw and your chance to win a great prize. What we have on offer: 2 nights in a 4-star hotel in Leipzig city centre, individual Leipzig city tour in English, the Leipzig Regio Cards for free public transportation and reduced entrance fees to museums, etc. 2 free admissions to Leipzig Zoo, and 2 free admissions to the famous Colditz Castle or Hartenfels Castle in Torgau. I believe we're going to be showing you a short film about Christmas markets, which is going to give you a little bit of time to answer the question that's coming up shortly in order to be able to win the prize. So we're going to give you a little bit of time. The first person to answer in the chat is going to be the winner. So let's run the film, and in the meantime, we'll get ready to ask you the question.
Yeah, thank you, Charles. So here's the question. We're looking for a very special museum that we're looking for a very special musician that lived, worked, and died in Leipzig. Who invented the position of chief conductor for the orchestras and founded the first conservatory in Leipzig?
Hello? Hello? Yeah, okay. Sorry, I think we had a little bit of a technical hitch there. Right, we have chosen a winner, and the lucky winner is Sharon Frame. Congratulations to Sharon. Great timing to get that answer in good time. Sorry about the technical hiccup. I seem to have lost everybody in the background, but I hope you're still hearing me here. So congratulations to our prize winner, Sharon Frame. I'd also like to thank Dana for great insight into Leipzig. And of course, I'd bring her in to say a few words to you as well before we go. Well, congratulations to our winner. You've got a great prize there. Thank you to Dana for a fantastic presentation and some great insights into Leipzig.
Thanks, Charles, and congratulations to the winner also from my side. And to everyone, thanks for your attention. I hope you enjoyed the webinar and learned some new things about Leipzig. And I hope to see you soon in Leipzig. Goodbye.
Well, guys, if you want to find out more, Dana's contact details are coming up shortly. And one final goodbye, and see you in Leipzig, and see you for the next webinar soon. Goodbye.
This is where one of the largest terminal stations meets a tiny underground network. Even so, I can cross the city just as fast as I can escape to the countryside, from splashing around together at the lake to fitness influencers in the park. Here, everyone will find a quiet spot where they can leave their mark. Just like Johan here did before them.
Where people let their audience feel the music and create moments that will live forever. Well, at least until coffee the next morning. Where excellent food is much more a matter of taste and not the size of your wallet. Where the evening's entertainment can be as classically cultivated as it is booming and bass heavy. Or where we do our own thing with a cigarette and beer. Simply a place
Wo Liebe nicht in Schubladen gesteckt wird.
A place that's home to people who stand together for their convictions. Where the visual arts and the performing arts become cultural events.
Where people are motivated to be at the top of their game.
And where an explosive mixture of tradition and ambition has a home. Where we are already looking to tomorrow, today. Where we get stuck in together. Work on new ideas. Simply savor life. And only ever build the highest quality.
And of course, put it through its paces.
Ein Ort, an dem ich alles schnell
Und gut erreiche.
No matter how. And between you and me, where I can just put my feet up and really relax.
In Leipzig, we celebrate our originals, see diversity as a guarantee of quality, love the landmarks that are part of our home,
and pursue our ambitious goals, each and every one of us, every day.
Gar nicht übel, oder? Also warum Leipzig? Weil es einfach immer passt.